This is Story on My Life. Try, move on from a heartbreak into the new life. It will be a happy ending stories or sad ending. Just listen my story and you decide it. Is that happy or sad ending? Someone once said, a breakup is like a death, but you still have to pay the bills. And it turned out that statement was 100% true. I used to think true love was like in the movies. You come, you fight, and then you live happily ever after. But the reality is, the separation came without warning. After years of sharing dreams, everything ended abruptly with just a short text message. It felt like being forcibly uprooted. From the world you painstakingly built, the heartache was definite. But what was worse, the mental block spread to other aspects of my life. Work got neglected. My side projects, which should have been additional income, stalled. In your late 20s or early 30s, this is the most terrifying moment. Losing direction while your finances start to shake. The first few weeks were hell. I couldn't sleep. I just scrolled aimlessly, searching for answers that would never come. The question was always the same. What was wrong with me? I sought comfort in the wrong things. Ordering food online every day. Not caring about the price. The savings that were supposed to be for a house down payment slowly drained away to treat the heartbreak in a very expensive and unhealthy way. I felt ashamed of myself. Seeing peers who were settled in their careers and relationships, while I was struggling in a rented room, chased by bills, with a broken heart. But at that lowest point, where my wallet was empty and my heart was empty, I realized one thing that changed everything. No one else can save me but myself. This pain is mine, and the responsibility to rise up is also mine. I decided that healing had to start with the most fundamental thing. First, stop all the stalking and drama. I blocked all access, not out of hatred, but because I needed space. Space for myself to breathe without their shadow. Second, financial control. This is crucial. I created a new budget. All non-essential expenses were cut. The remaining money, I allocated for things that increase my self-worth, like online courses and books. I turned the pain into fuel. Before, I relied too much on a partner for a support system. Now, I focused on building an internal support system and inner strength. I started working out, not to lose weight, but to feel powerful again. Starting from scratch again at this age is tough. But at least, this time, we start with a very valuable asset: bitter experience and wisdom. We know what red flags to avoid, and we know how fragile life is without financial security. This rising process is not linear. There are days when I'm still down, still remembering old memories. That's natural. The important thing is that bad days no longer turn into bad weeks or bad months. As I started to level up in my career and finances, something amazing happened. I no longer cared whether my ex was viewing my stories or not. Why? Because my focus shifted from validation to growth. A true glow-up is not about a new outfit. A glow-up is when you can sleep soundly, not because of a goodnight text from them, but because you know all your deadlines are met, and your bank account is healthy again. To you who are in this phase right now, remember, the separation was a divine removal. It removed the wrong person so you could have space for a better version of yourself, a version that is independent, resilient, and not easily swayed just because one person left. So, let's shift the focus. Stop asking, when can I move on? And start asking, when can I level up myself so much that my ex regrets leaving? But do it for yourself, not for revenge. Turn that overthinking energy into action energy. Grab a pen, make your financial plan. Grab your keys, go out there and chase that opportunity. You deserve a life that is full, whole, and strong, without depending on anyone. Trust me, this pain will pass. What will remain is the steel foundation of your new self. You've cried enough. Now it's time to show them who you really are. Come on, let's start. If the previous story was about survival, this one is about quality of life. After the storm passes, it's time to build a much stronger house. Now, I no longer wake up with anxiety. emotional tranquility, and financial stability. It turns out the two are deeply interconnected. I used to think moving on meant finding someone new quickly. It doesn't. True move on is when you can look back at your past without pain or regret. In fact, you can thank the separation, because without it, you wouldn't be this strong. Once my heart and my wallet recovered, I felt a new void, life purpose. For so long, my purpose revolved too much around us. Now, the purpose has to be about what I can contribute. I started asking myself, what do I genuinely enjoy when I'm alone? I returned to old hobbies that were once discouraged. I tried new skills that felt challenging. And believe me, this is the most exciting phase. I realized that purpose doesn't have to be big and magnificent. Like building a unicorn company. It could be helping one person with the skill you possess. Or becoming the most well-organized person on your work team. When you're busy building a life you love, when your schedule is packed with exciting projects, quality me time, and meaningful meetings, your mind automatically stops dwelling on the past. Your focus shifts from healing to building. Okay, let's talk about money again. Because it doesn't end after the bills are paid. Financial stability is the foundation of true peace of mind. I started learning things I used to avoid, investment and retirement funds. For those of us in this age group, it's no longer about showing off. It's about long-term planning. I adopted a new mindset. I have to save. Not because I'm afraid of being poor, but because I want to have options. Imagine, when problems come, you don't have to panic into a mental breakdown. Why? Because you have a financial buffer. Monetary independence is the most genuine form of self-care. It's your way of protecting your future self. Before, I was looking for a stable partner. Now, I focus on being the stable person. Because stable people attract stable circles and opportunities. That's the law of nature. Of course, after a long time, new people come along. But this time is different. I'm no longer in a hurry. I'm no longer looking for a replacement for my ex, but an equal partner. The biggest lesson from heartbreak is that we learn our boundaries. Before, I was willing to sacrifice everything. Now, I know what is non-negotiable. My work time, my me time, and my financial goals. A healthy relationship is not about merging into one. It's about two whole individuals walking side. I loved myself first, and only. Then was I ready to let someone else love me. And remember, if your ex comes back, because they often do, you will have the superpower to reject them. Because you know your worth. You know how hard you fought to rise. Never trade your peace for past drama. This journey is not just about moving on. It's about discovering your greatest potential. Heartbreak was merely a trigger for a massive upgrade. You've survived the worst. From now on, your focus is no longer on what was lost, but on what legacy you want to leave behind. A legacy of skills you master, the impact you create, and the financial freedom you achieve. Your life is a masterpiece. You've repainted the canvas. So, don't just create a sketch. Create a masterpiece. Come on, live your life fully, bravely, and without regrets. Your best life starts today.